One of the most important, but probably also most misunderstood feature is auto train. This is something that will auto train your troops for you. And the way this works is you have to select the troop type here. And I'm in a tournament, so I'm doing militia. And you have to click this little box here. If you don't, it won't activate the auto train for the city. And some people do forget to click these. So they're like, why isn't it working? I have it. It's on, but it's not doing anything. Well, you got to have it selected. Also, you have to be careful with minimum and maximum and what you do for workers here. You have to look at your population. You see I'm in negative population now. My population limit is 47,000. My labor force is 19,000. So anything over 19,000 is positive population. So if I had, in my current population is 2,350, that's why I'm at negative. It's 19,110 minus 2,350, which would be negative 16,000. So at negative population, my city will not train if this says 0, or even 25%, or probably even 50%. If I set this at 100%, it means that we'll use all 47,000 of my population. If I have this set at 0, what that means is it will only use population that is above my labor force. Since my labor force is 19,000, it'll only use population if I'm over that. And if you have 5 cottages, level 9 cottages, that's 22,500 population. So if that's all I had there for 5 cottages, I'd only have about 3,500 positive population. So I'd have to make sure that my minimum would be under that. And then of course if I had catapults take 10 population per unit, so I'd have to do 3,000 divided by 10, which would be 300. So if my minimum were over 300 and I'm at 0%, then and I had catapults here, then my city would never train anything. Never, ever, ever. Because it would never reach that 1,000 minimum. It would only be able to go to 300. So that's something you have to be paying attention to is that you make sure that your minimum isn't too high. But the way I could fix that is for this city is if I put this at 100%, then it would have a lot more population to work with. Now the problem with that is that with using negative population is that if you use all your population for training, there will be nobody in your fields working. And if there's nobody in your fields working, you will not be getting any resources. Your resource production will stop until that population grows back. Population grows back at 1/20th of your population max every 6 minutes. And so it takes 2 hours for your population to regrow to 100%. So it's not a permanent problem, it's just a 2-hour problem. And of course you can select whether you want to use 2 times resources or 4 times resources, and I'm using 4 times in most of my cities and 2 times in a couple because my population is outstripping my productive capacity, or my productive capacity is outstripping my population, so I have to decrease the speed at which it uses my population momentarily in those 2 cities, and probably in these other 2 in a couple of minutes too. So I'll go ahead and actually bump these down. We'll also want to look at options. Pretty much you want to enable everything on here except auto collect gold. You do not need gold. You don't need it. Your raids will get enough for you. You do not want your population or your happiness to go below 95% because that affects how quickly your population regenerates. And you want your population happiness to be at 100%. So do not click that. Everything else here is fine. If you want to update your scripts, I always use the SVN version, the latest version. So I want to go to Google Code and I say update now every once in a while, and there's no new updates available. These will allow you that when someone places a build in here, your bot will automatically help them with their build. So that's useful. You can auto-publish Facebook posts and tell it whether to hide it or not. Although I don't think anything's posting to the walls right now. Next thing we want to look at is tower. Do not ever click stop raids on impending. What that means is if someone attacks your city, they'll stop raiding. And your troops will run home and defend. If you do that, though, your troops will be easy to kill, because a couple 100,000 archers are easy to kill. And also, if you stop raids, your city will starve. They can take all your food and starve you out. But you do want to say automatically post incoming attacks to Alliance chat. You can put whatever message you want in here. Sometimes people say very creative things like the Martians are coming. And then you want to alert on scouting and wild attack and display defend status. I always keep my minimum troops at 1. The default is 10,000, but I want people to see when I'm being scouted, when someone's looking at me. And then of course you want to play sound on incoming attack. Occasionally the alarm stops working and you'll have to put in some other thing like this. And then once it's in there you can test it. And there you go, you hear it going off maybe. And I just shut it off there. And that's pretty much it for this time. I'll talk about build next time and auto DF because those are also very important. But we'll get to those next time.